His family who welcomed me in their home, Wild Nature Conservation Foundation, IUCN, CEC, and YCCFP team, entire team, for having me here and giving me this opportunity to be here among you very fine, young, beautiful people. So I don't think I need to introduce myself further. I'm Susmita Mishra, and here I am today as a young person who is here to learn from all of you and to learn about your experiences, your ideas, your aspirations. Before I give you a little bit more of my talk, I would like to ask how many of you here have watched the Spider-Man movie? Hands up. Okay, quite a few. So, do you know a quote from Spider-Man movie where Aunt May mentions to Spider-Man, with great power? Okay, maybe one more time. With great power comes great responsibility. Amazing. So this opportunity, this platform, all of you being here in this room is your power. Why is it your power? Because this is an opportunity where you get to learn a lot of skills. Something that you will not learn or you may not learn in your schools or in your engineer. It is the little things that you want to do. Maybe you have a pond in your hometown that needs protection.
So, I think we got the gist of what I'm presenting on, the things we have stopped seeing. So, again, so raise your hand if I think I'd prefer to do this without the mic. So, raise your hand if as a child you saw more trees in your roads, more insects, more birds as a child compared to now. Yeah, you see most of your hands are up, and that's kind of something disturbing to think about, right? Okay, so I just wanted to talk about something. So personally in Bangalore where I live, so there's this thing called as Dickinson Road. So it used to be called Piquet Road. So Piquet in my language, it means bird droppings. So that was like a huge road covered with like banyan trees on all the sides, and if you're just showing their status and they're consuming wood just to show their status. Social comparison. So enough is defined by other speeds. So like we're all youth, we're all on social media. You see someone next to you having what you don't have, and you're like, oh, I want it. So it might be like, if you're in a smaller grade, it might be like a fancy eraser or something. But as you grow older and older, you also know how your needs grow with you. And that's actually a problem. And next you have instant gratification. So you want to buy everything now. You don't want to, conserve your resources now. You need everything now. You want to feel that validated that you have.
First of all, who pollutes? Industries, farms, cities, tourists, and every person living near the beaches pollute. Now, what pollutes? That is, what constitutes the pollutants there? Pollutants include plastic, chemical waste, spills, and agricultural runoff and untreated sewage. Where does all the waste go? All of the waste produced. It goes to our oceans, our coral reefs, mangroves, and deep sea floors, where they accumulate and cause a lot of harm to biodiversity. Lastly, whatever waste generated, why does it matter at all? Why do we need to think of the waste? This is because it threatens marine biodiversity. It threatens the very thing Mother Nature gifted us. Yeah. Based on that simple principle, I asked him, what were the effects of the 2004 tsunami on his island? Real life. This is a very extraordinary thing. He told me that during the 2004 island, there was barely any destruction.
Thank you so much, Hamlet, for the introduction. My name is Vidushi Chawla. And before I start, I want to conduct a small activity with all of you. I want all of you to raise your hands if you've ever shopped from a fast fashion brand or seen anyone shopping from a fast fashion brand, be it Zara, H&M, etc., etc. I want all of you now to raise your hand if you've ever delivered from an online app, be it for food or be it for necessities. Lastly, I want all of you to raise your hands if you've ever at any point in life achieved a cheaper product, knowing that it wasn't the best or the most sustainable product out there. This is known as an incentive. This is something that I discovered after a really long period of time of observation, that millions of people respond to the same incentives around us. Individual choices at the end of the day end up influencing environmental outcomes because incentives shape human behavior. The world around you actually rewards you for the things that you end up doing, and that creates a really major impact. I want you to forget everything that you've learned about climate education for a moment, because I'm going to be telling you that simple economic systems are eventually shaping our choices and eventually the choices of the planet in a really severe way today. And then you'll stop viewing climate education as a rhetoric.
Social and economical costs, the social and the environmental costs are borne local. We will learn more about this as the session progresses. And now let us dive deep into the types of environmental colonialism. First things first, AI data centers. Well, there is a very big myth that AI is purely digital and only costs just a few milliliters per prompt. But here comes the harsh physical reality where thousands of physical data centers.
Let's take a look at a few other types of environmental colonialism, starting off with pollution colonialism. This is basically where companies avoid environmental cleanup costs by either exporting the waste products, or like sometimes they just relocate the entire factories to other regions with fewer legal barriers. So let's take a look at these two case studies. Starting off with aquapollution in Ghana. Over here, millions of tons of e-waste are exported from developed countries each year. And guess what they're labeled as?
Related content is really difficult because out of 100 words, there might just be one which is sustainability related. So in all of that, just trying to find it will be really hard. But sharing sustainability content is also difficult because imagine you post something, then you can't really find a dedicated audience because, like I said, millions of unrelated posts. So now, I'll be the AI. I'm going to show how the AI challenges will work. So now for this month, I'll keep it as climate change variety. So the students, they'll make posts related to it, and then they ask the people box whether they'll approve it. So you approve it?
Yes, approve. Yeah,
Approve? Okay. So now it'll be displayed on the website. And first they made a post and it got onto the website, they'll get a certain number of points. And they'll be in the read book. The white book is paper-like, eye-friendly, and the perfect substitute for textbooks. And using it can also help save the environment and also stop deforestation. So you can pass it.
I say that myself because me coming from a country that is landlocked and I do not have experience working in ocean, but when I saw the presentation on ocean this morning, I was really like, okay, this is something I learned, this is something new to me. So second, you don't need to have everything figured out right now. You can gradually figure things out, but you need to stay focused and you need to stay persistent. The third one, aim for the sky, but feet on the ground. You should always aim for the highest, but never forget where your roots are, like it was mentioned this morning. Always stay grounded. And fourth one being, always have it in your heart that you have to give back to your community. Regardless of what position you may reach, you may become ministers, you may become the next presidents, the next prime minister, you may be diplomats, but always remember that you have to give back to the community because this is where you come from. And the last one, this one is my favorite, especially with young people. I share it with all of my team members. Do not overpromise and underdeliver. Okay, I will repeat it. Do not overpromise and underdeliver. What does that mean? You promise, okay, I can do this. You promise, let's say, 5 different things. You tell your parents, okay, I'm gonna get straight A's. And then you say, I'm gonna go to YCCFP Cohort 8. And I'm gonna take part in a pageant. And then I'm gonna take part in singing competition. And you are gonna do something else as well. That is overpromise. Focus on things that you can actually deliver. So do not overpromise and underdeliver. You promise as much as you can, and then you can take one step at a time and gradually learn, grow, and then deliver it. So that's 5 tips that I live by, and I hope that